Greetings. Our Frederick Riddle here with another Christian News and Views. This is episode 248, and this is Wednesday. Well, we had a little bit of a battle in Washington. Attorney General Pam Bondi battled with Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee on October 7th. That was yesterday, refusing to answer their questions and launching personal attacks against some of them when they accused her of stonewalling. She was received very differently by Republicans who praised Bondi throughout the marathon hearings, saying she's made good on her and President Trump's pledges to rid the Justice Department of partisan politics, cut crime, and help deport immigrants in the country illegally. I took office with two main goals: to end the weaponization of justice and return the department to its core mission of fighting violent crime, Bondi said. While there is more work to do, I believe in 8 short months we have made tremendous progress towards those ends. But Democrats, one by one, accused the nation's top law enforcement official of doing exactly the opposite. They said the former personal Trump lawyer and Florida Attorney General gutted key elements of the Justice Department, including its public corruption unit. Bondi also launched groundless investigations into Trump's political foes, they said, and covered up for purported Trump allies accused of criminal wrongdoing, including convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and border czar Tom Homan. Our nation's top law enforcement agency has become a shield for the president and his political allies when they engage in misconduct, said Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, the committee's top Democrat. In response to Democrats' questions on a broad range of issues, the combative Bondi often hurled insults and counter accusations. She called Senator Adam Schiff a failed lawyer and a liar. Many of the terse exchanges came in response to questions about Epstein and Bondi's joint announcement with FBI Director Kash Patel in July that they would not be releasing the so-called Epstein files or evidence of crimes involving the convicted sex trafficking financier in their possession after repeatedly promising to do so. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Democrat Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, a former federal prosecutor, asked Bondi, "Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise?" This is her response. "You sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right. When you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe," Bondi shot back. "I could be wrong. Correct me." Bondi, in her first appearance before the committee since taking office, accused Durbin of undermining an earlier probe into Epstein. And when he asked her who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump in the Epstein file, she replied, "I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator. Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this," Durbin said. "You won't do it today, but eventually you will." Bondi accused 77-year-old Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono of consorting with Antifa protesters. That accusation came when Hirono asked Bondi if she approved shutting down a bribery investigation into whether Homan took a $50,000 cash bribe, reportedly caught on videotape, from undercover FBI agents before joining the Trump administration. "You were also on video outside the White House protesting where Antifa members were," Bondi said. Later, in response to another question, she told Hirano, "I don't think a lot of people liked that you were out protesting with Antifa." And when Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut said he was trying to be positive and constructive in his questioning about whether Bondi had politicized the department, Bondi interrupted him to say, "I'm not going to get in the gutter with you." "I am not going to be lectured," Bondi added, talking over Blumenthal, about integrity by someone who lied about being in the military just to be elected a senator. So let's go on here a little bit further. I've never seen anything quite like that, Durbin said. These are oversight hearings. Some of the questions are pointed and tough, but her reaction was completely out of line, and her refusal to answer the most basic questions about the issues before the department really left a lot of us feeling that she's not doing the job she was appointed to. Trump supporters, however, praised her performance on social media, sharing video sound bites of Bondi's exchanges, her facial expression, and her folded arm body language. Savage, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, said on X in response to a video of Bondi telling Schiff oversight, "You want your 5 minutes of fame." So this was quite the battle. Here's my opinion about the whole thing. I think it's about time someone stood up to the bullying tactics of the Democrats. They think they can just sit there and throw out anything they want to throw out. It's almost like throwing mud against the wall and hoping it strikes something. They talk about oversight, but mostly they ask gotcha questions. They're not interested really in the truth. I found it both refreshing and telling. First of all, that Pam Bondi obviously did her research. And when they tried to slander her or the president, she was not afraid to use the results of her research. This causes a great deal of alarm amongst the Democrats, not because she said or did anything out of line, but because she pointed out their own hypocrisy. And her and I might add to that she pointed out that these are not only there are hypocrites, but they're guilty of worse than what they're accusing people of. Not exactly a news break there, but is something that I think it's time that is brought out. Her firm stand is admirable. As for the Democrats, they have been revealed as the bullies they are. Not only that, but they are self-serving, not really interested in the truth, assuming they know what the truth is. Now they'll say, "Oh yeah, we know what the truth is," but the fact of the matter is, when they have their opportunity to tell the truth, they dig really deep and maybe find a little kernel, and then they try to blow that up into something much bigger and not really the truth at all. Um, in some ways, it's a microcosm of life as we see it. As people will jury pick or be selective in how they look at truth, how they look at facts, and so forth. And she just threw back at them what they were throwing at her. It was not a hearing of an oversight committee as what you would think of oversight. Oversight implies a responsible look at the people who are under you, or in this case, not under them, but some that they are. That oversight committee has oversight of them to make sure that they're doing their job the right way. Well, it requires them to be responsible, first of all. And I see it unfortunately, I see it on both sides of the aisle, but in particular, I see it on the Democrat. They've made it an art form. And they will make an attack. And like I said, it's like throwing mud at the wall. And then they will justify that attack. And they'll say, "Oh, you're going to answer for that." Answer for what? They're making accusations that, for the most part, seem to be pretty baseless. They don't offer any really solid facts. Innuendo? Yes. Maybe they say a picture, a photograph of something. What does that prove? It doesn't really prove anything. But they put it in the context of proving something. It's really quite if it wasn't for the fact that it's government at work, I would find it amusing. But because it is government supposedly at work, I find it disturbing. Representatives, I don't care what party they are elected to represent the people, you and me. When they get there, one of the things that we did when we elected them, we trusted their judgment. We trusted them to make appropriate decisions that if they were to come back to us, we would tend to agree with one way or another. to some degree or another. We're not seeing that, especially we don't see it on the Democratic side. And that's not new, folks. That's been going on for a long time. It's just new that somebody actually was willing to stand up to him and throw it right back at him. And I think that I admire her for her stand and what she did. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this, and I always try to inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. And I hope I did that today. So, and feel free to comment on this, pro or con, and give details if you want, but keep it clean, keep it nice. But in any case, I might, who knows, it could end up in my podcast, and I'll try to answer that at the time. Okay, you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.